Bring this a little closer. And we are live. Good evening, everyone. The markets are on an absolute tear, both the precious metals market and the crypto market. And if you've been listening to me for the past year, I have been screaming to the high heavens, get involved, buy some crypto, buy some gold, buy some silver. And I continuously, video after video, I have trolls coming on to the video into the chat and saying, oh, that crypto thing is a scam. Why would you want to buy gold? It's just the rock. It doesn't do anything. You have the Oracle from Omaha, the great Warren Buffett, saying that investing in crypto and Bitcoin is like investing in baby brains and rat poison. And that why would you want to own gold when you can own a share of Microsoft? And here now we're watching silver explode. Silver's well on its way to $30. We're watching gold break out now, well on its way to $2,000. We're watching Ethereum right now sitting at $323. We are going through the fourth industrial revolution. The great reset is happening. The financial elite, they've already laid out their plan as to what's going to happen. So it's a matter of, I don't care if you believe if the NSA or the government created Bitcoin. I don't care if you believe in ancient reptilian aliens from Planet X. A wealth transfer is happening. And it's either you're going to stick your cup or multiple cups or a bucket and you're going to capture some of that wealth, or you're going to sit around all day long and make excuses and talk about all of these different things as to why you're not going to pull the trigger. Because the beautiful thing about crypto, as I've been telling you guys for so long, is that it's only a $300 billion asset class. The asset class is tiny compared to the stock market, which is a well over $100 trillion asset class. So although the crypto market's starting to pump, you haven't seen anything yet. What do you think the price of Bitcoin's going to be when we're at $1 trillion market cap? What do you think the price of Ethereum's going to be when we're at a $2 trillion market cap, or a Tezos or a Chainlink or Rand, whichever cryptocurrency you like? What do you think the prices of these cryptos are going to be? Now, let me calm down a little bit because my bags are pumping right now. I'm making big money right now. And I'm going to make even more money because, as I said before, the crypto market hasn't even started to pump yet. We haven't even reached our peak that we achieved back in 2017, back at all-time highs. And what have I been doing? Dollar cost averaging. What have I been telling you guys to do? Dollar cost average. Buy $200 here. Buy $500 here. Buy $200 here. So, as you come into the live stream, please like this video. Share this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Also, make sure that you join my mailing list so that you'll be notified via email every time that when I go live, because sometimes when I'm talking about the fourth industrial revolution, the financial elites, gold and silver, crypto, YouTube is not going to send that notification out because they don't want that type of information getting out to the everyday average man. They just don't. That's the reality. They want me shilling garbage like BitConnect. If I was talking about BitConnect, I'll have thousands of views. If I was talking about some Ponzi scheme or some obscure, crypto that's at $80 million or $20 million market cap, they'll promote that garbage. So please join the mailing list so that I can notify you via email when I'm going live. Also, if you want to follow me, a link to my Instagram is in the description below. Simply click the link, follow me on Instagram, and shoot me a DM if you have any questions or concerns. And if you're someone that wants to learn about crypto, I created My Tech Academy. We currently have a free 7-day trial where I teach you everything there is to know about the basics as far as how does Bitcoin work and how does Ethereum work. And as I said before, we have a free 7-day trial. A link to My Tech Academy will be in the description below. And if you are paying attention, you need to click that link immediately and take that 7-day trial because you're missing out on massive gains. Ethereum right now is sitting at $322. And I just put up a post, and I'm going to show you the post yesterday when it was trading at about $294. And it's still grossly undervalued once you understand DeFi and decentralized finance. So if you can see me clearly and you can hear me clearly, just type 1 before we really get into the stream. And as you can see right now, there's a link in the chat for My Tech Academy. So for those of you who say, well, where's the link? If you look in the chat right now, there's a link for My Tech Academy. Good. So there we go. So let's just look at the crypto market right now. As you can see, I'm excited because my bags are pumping. For those of you who have been listening to me, or for those of you who've you've already been in crypto for years and you've been a dollar cost averaging and adding to your bags, you're excited right now because your bags are probably pumping. And if we go, this is just for the past 24 hours. We have Bitcoin sitting at 10,000. It's going to take a lot of money to move Bitcoin. That's really like for Bitcoin's trying to be like digital gold. And just so you guys know, I own gold. This is a 1 ounce American Buffalo gold coin. I own silver and I own crypto. I own it all. I don't want to play in the stock market. The stock market's a casino. Some people have mastered that. I've been day trading futures for years now. I'm focused on big money now. I don't want to play the little, make $1,000 a day, $2,000 a day. I'm trying to get rich. This is our internet 2.0, .com bubble 2.0, right? This is the new internet. And then once you understand the potential of this technology, I'm not trying to play these little, I want to day trade in Hertz and Nikolai and all that. I'm trying to make a fortune. I'm trying to hit it one time and quit it. That's what I'm trying to do. So we see ETH is at 321. Look at garbage Ripple. Ripple is garbage. I wouldn't touch Ripple with a dead man's wallet. Bitcoin Cash, garbage. Look at Cardano. I used to be a bull on Cardano. I sold a lot of my Cardano. I still own some of it. I'm 50-50 on Cardano. When you think about the whole proof of stake and what they're trying to do with Shelley and all, Charles has made a lot of promises and he just hasn't delivered, in my personal opinion. But it's not a bad project. The bags are pumping, so good for you, for those of you who own some Cardano. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, garbage. Litecoin, garbage. CRO, BNB, EOS, garbage. Look at Chainlink. Chainlink's been on a monster tier. Once you understand that smart contracts are going to need a third party to validate that data, then you can understand the power of a Chainlink, right? The whole process of having oracles being able to actually validate the data that's going to be put into these smart contracts. So Chainlink's going to be a monster. I can easily see Chainlink being worth, $50 to $100 billion easily, because if smart contracts and decentralized applications are going to take off, you're going to need oracles. That's just common sense, right? You have to validate the data that's going to be put into these smart contracts, and you have to do it in a decentralized way. So Chainlink, and I believe it's another one called Band. Those type of protocols are definitely going to pump, because if we're going to get a pump in smart contracts, this is where this is going to go. Tezos, I have a big bag of Tezos, not because I think Tezos is better than Ethereum, not because I think it's more scalable than Ethereum, just because I understand markets and I understand most investors are dumb. So they're going to feel like they missed out on Ethereum. So everyone's going to look for Ethereum 2.0. That's just the way people think, right? So they're going to say to themselves, oh, well, Tezos is only $3 and Ethereum is $300. So let me go buy some Tezos. Now, that's not to say that Tezos may not scale better than Ethereum. It may in the future. But right now, it's just not. All the development in the DeFi, everything's happening inside of Ethereum and on Ethereum. All of the devs are there. All of the dApps are there. That's where the action's happening at. And then once you understand ETH 2.0 and how they're going to shard the chain and the beacon chain and side chains, if ETH 2.0 actually can deliver just half of the promise on the promises, these other protocols, they're going to pump just because, people love to look for the next best thing. But my bet is on Ethereum. But I own a bag of Tesla just because I know it's going to pump. Stellar, garbage. Wouldn't touch it. Monero is my favorite coin because Monero is what Bitcoin should be. In all honesty, Monero is actually better than Bitcoin when it comes to privacy, when it comes to anonymity. Across the board, it's better than Bitcoin, but it's actually too good. And I tell you this all the time, guys. So let's look at the 7-day change, right? So you can really see the gains that we've had in crypto. Look at this. 35% in a week for Ethereum. 35% in a week. Look at that pump. And thank you for the donation that just started to pump. So that just came through. I said started to pump. I'm so excited right now. My bags are pumping. So look at this. I made this post 6 months ago. I own a lot of Augur, by the way, Joe Ryan. I own a ton of Augur. Augur's a phenomenal protocol. I posted this 6 months ago. I said, Bitcoin isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's a get free quick scheme. Free from inflation, free from censorship, free from surveillance. Bitcoin is a hedge against your government. Now, you may disagree with these things, but look what ETH was trading at. It was trading at $143. $143. Now look at this garbage Ripple. It was trading at 22 cents back then, and it's trading at 21 cents today. It's garbage. It's a dead project. But this was 6 months ago. Because I have trolls that come on my videos and they call me a coon. They call me an agent and Uncle Tom. They say that I only sound smart to stupid people. Well, if you've been listening to me, who they're referring to as a stupid guy, you would be up well over 100% on your position right now in a lot of different projects that I've been recommending to you guys. And then something interesting happened. This was back when we had the big flush. This was 4 months ago. This is when everyone was getting margin calls. This is right before the whole pandemic thing jumped off and the market crashed, right? The market crashed hard and Ethereum touched $100. This was March 12th. And we're going to pull up the chart so you can go and see it. See, one thing about me, I put my money where my mouth is. I have skin in the game. I'm not some guy that's sitting up here telling you that you're going to get rich off of some Ponzi scheme. I tell you guys, if you're poor, you have no business investing. You should be investing in skills to get better and more valuable in the marketplace. But if you're a person that has disposable income, if you're a person that's working, you have a 401k or you have a pension, if you can't touch crypto, then you need to be touching gold and silver. You need to be touching hard money. When the Fed is pumping trillions upon trillions of dollars into the repo market on a monthly basis, they are literally, Jerome Powell is telling you, inflation is too low. So the price of everything around you is going up, except your income. And your little mutual fund that may be giving you 3 or 4% on a yearly basis, between taxes and inflation, you're going to get destroyed. You're going to get crushed, right? So you need to be investing in alternative assets. But listen to what I said. I said, while everyone was panicking and selling, I was busy buying more and putting money to work. You do realize that Bitcoin and gold are exactly the same as they were a week ago. Nothing has changed. But companies behind stocks that have crashed are not the same. Earnings will definitely go down. Liabilities will go up. The Fed and the government will print trillions of dollars to bail out failing companies. We've seen this picture in 2008. We know exactly how this will end. Print money out of thin air. What's happened since I've made this post? We've seen a ton of bankruptcies start to happen. Different companies every week are filing bankruptcy. We now have Neiman Marcus here in New York City. I live here in New York City. Hudson Yards is one of the most valuable, lucrative projects to ever happen. I think it was probably like one of the largest developments in the world that happened right here in New York City. Well, because of what's happening with the pandemic and people aren't shopping, Neiman Marcus, the luxury retail market, they're shutting their doors. I have a video where I was breaking down. There's probably only going to be, when this is all said and done, 3 or 4 major retailers in the United States. You're seeing a consolidation of power and a consolidation of wealth. It's probably going to be Amazon, Walmart, and maybe a Target. I've been telling you guys this 4 months ago. And look, I showed you, these are the purchases that I've made. I was buying more. I was going on every exchange I could. OKX, Kraken, you name it. Because certain exchanges, once you start buying a certain amount, they cut you off for that day. Like you run out of buying power. You can't buy it anymore. So I was going to every exchange I could and buying Ethereum when that crash happened. And if we come here and we pull up the chart, just so you can see that I'm not lying, look at this day. This was the day, right? You can see it says March 12th, I was making those purchases. This is the day when Bitcoin had that wipeout right here, March 12th. I didn't panic. I put my big boy pants on and I went out and I bought more. I didn't panic on March 12th when the market crashed. I went out and I purchased more Ethereum. That's what investors do. You buy. You are greedy when others are fearful. And you are fearful when others are greedy. March 12th. See, one thing about me, I'm not here talking about rubbing my chakra and my pineal gland and trying to go to ancient Kemet. And I'm not living in the past. I understand the future is coming. If you go and you look at the Davos World Economic Summit, they are talking about the Great Reset. They're not here to play games with you. The powers that be are not coming to play. They are serious. They are trying to merge man with machine. This is not some conspiracy theory. They feel that the world is overpopulated, and they are going to utilize technology to do that. This whole pandemic thing is just going to speed everything up, because now businesses are not going to open up at 100% capacity anymore. Now it's going to be 20% capacity or 40% capacity. So what do you think these companies are going to do? They're already utilizing AI to take away jobs. This is just going to accelerate what's happening. And that's more deflation, right? So now, what do you think happens with deflation? How do you beat deflation? You beat it with inflation. That's the only tool that the Fed has, is to print more money out of thin air. Which is what is going to do what? It's going to do what? It's going to pump your asset prices. And we know the top 1%, they own almost everything. This crypto is probably one of the last great gasps that we have as people to, one, get some wealth and potentially gain some type of sovereignty. That's it. So, and when you understand, when you come here, because I know a lot of times people say, like, what are you talking about? The total market cap of all cryptocurrencies combined, it's increased now to 300 billion. The gold market cap, remember, gold's a global asset, right? It's an $8 trillion market. 8 trillion. That's a very mature and thick market. Yes, there's room to run, but you're not going to get the gains in gold that you're going to get in crypto. This is why I promote crypto so much. People say, oh, that doesn't make sense. You own silver and you own gold, but you also talk about crypto. Because I understand that this is a tiny asset class. It's just math. It's just numbers. If gold's at 8 trillion, if the entire gold market cap is worth 8 trillion and Bitcoin's only worth 184 billion, common sense is going to say to you that if this is going to be digital gold, and we believe it's going to be digital gold, and we see the Shamovs, the Tim Drapers, the Paul Tudor Jones, we see the big boys starting to come into the space, right? The big boys are not going to go and buy VeChain. They're not, right? The big boys, because of the way that they structure their assets and they want to hedge themselves, they're going to play with the Ethereums and they're going to play with the Bitcoins. That's just the reality, right? Because they don't want all of that volatility in their portfolio. And as Bitcoin matures and as Ethereum matures, the volatility is going to get wiped out, right? You're not going to see these big 20% pumps in these premium cryptocurrencies like a Bitcoin or Ethereum. You just won't see that. That's where the big boys are going to put their capital. Well, what do you think is going to happen when Bitcoin's at $1 trillion market cap? What do you think Ethereum, what do you think the price is going to be? This is where we are. Now, we right now see as of today, fresh off the press, we now have a second stimulus coming. Second stimulus coming now. More money printing. What have I been saying on this channel? There's no way out of this but to print money. You have to destroy the dollar. There's no other way out of this. Either war or destroy the currency. That's it. Now, when you start understanding, that there's a chessboard, and when you have all of these people who are jockeying for power, there's so many different pieces at play. So you have the pandemic at play. You have artificial intelligence ever more creeping into our lives. You have the Cold War with China now. Every time you turn around, there's some type of aggression happening with China and the U.S. You have us trillions of dollars in debt, right? There's so much that's converging and it's happening. And if you're paying attention and you're a three-dimensional thinker, you can start looking at this and you start saying to yourself, there's going to be so much chaos. But out of that chaos will come a new world order. I promise you that. And at that core of it is going to be a new monetary system. And Satoshi gave us something that can actually compete with that new monetary system. And that's a cryptocurrency. Now, whether it's going to be Bitcoin or whether it's going to be Ethereum or whatever coin you may think it may be, we don't know. But we do know that while we're trying to figure this out over the next 3 to 5 years, while all this chaos is happening, our bags are going to pump. They just are. Now, Jeff Booth, I encourage you guys, if you're in my tech academy, the academy that I created, this is one of the books that I encourage you guys to go out and read, and it's called The Price of Tomorrow. And he really dives into what's happening with technology and why trying to fight deflation the way that the Fed is trying to fight it is actually going to lead to more problems. So he says, this is a guy named Joe. He works with, I believe he used to work for Bloomberg. I don't know if he's still there, but he's one of the Fed bootlicks. He believes that everything that the Fed does is great. He's into that whole modern monetary theory that, because we are the reserve currency and everyone needs dollars, that we can just simply print as many dollars as we want because the rest of the world is basically pegged to the dollar. But what he doesn't understand is that, yes, the rest of the world may be pegged to the dollar today. That doesn't mean that that's what it will be tomorrow. And that's what he goes into about the book of The Price of Tomorrow. And I really, really think that you should go and read his book. So Joe says, between the virus, the fight over the fiscal bill, and the up months have the potential to be extraordinary tumultuous economically. Jay Powell must come out and reassure Americans of his steadfast commitment to hitting a 2% inflation target. So he's encouraging more inflation. Now, this is the guy that works in the media. He's saying Jay Powell must come out and reassure Americans of his steadfast commitment to hitting a 2% inflation target. So the Fed is telling you that while you're getting up every day and you're working hard for money, they're going to devalue it. They are hell-bent on devaluing your money. Because remember, inflation means there are more dollars chasing the same amount of goods and services. The problem with inflation is that your income isn't increasing as fast as inflation is rising. That's the problem. So your dollar is losing purchasing power. So your rent is going up on an annual basis. Your taxes are going up on an annual basis. Gas is going up, or commodities are going up, or food is going up, or tuition is going up on a monthly basis, but your income isn't. So hold on, let's see something. Let's mute this because he said my audio is going out. Let me just check my audio. Nah, Zulu Immortal, I think that's just you. My audio seems pretty fine to me. My audio, I just checked it. It's pretty good to me. I just think maybe it's your maybe it's just you. Yeah, audio's good. I just checked it. So now let's read what he's saying, because this is important. And guys, please go and read the book. It's really, really important. I am getting latency. Okay, let's check and see. Everything is good here on my end. Everything's good. So I'll check it one more time. Let me check it one more time. Let's see. Let's check this. Yeah, guys, I really think that it's just something wrong with you, because I'm looking at the audio on the OBS and I'm looking at, yeah. Yes, the book is called The Price of Tomorrow. All right, so let me read what he says. So basically, Joe is calling for more. He's calling for more inflation. He wants Jerome Powell to print more money, basically. So Jeff Booth posted this on Twitter. He responded to him. He says, while he is at it, he should also come out and tell Americans that he is going to destroy the US dollar, transfer far more wealth to asset owners, and ensure companies remove jobs faster with technology because of inept policy. You are stuck in an old, dying framework, Joe. And 4, he also must tell Americans that he might cause a civil war in the process, with most people blissfully unaware that it is all caused by these stupid policies in the first place. This book, it highlights so much, because the Fed is the greatest driver of wealth inequality, because it transfers wealth to asset holders. And the problem is, especially for us millennials and younger, many of us, we don't own any assets or enough assets to keep up with inflation. Most of us, we own debt, because the system has created this feedback loop where debt is money. And that's what gives the dollar value. See, remember, when you walk into that bank and you get that 30-year mortgage, that money is created out of thin air. It doesn't exist until you sign your name on the dotted line. So what you are saying is, I'm going to spend the next 30 years of my life working and chasing more dollars to pay back this mortgage. That's what gives the dollar value. You are the battery, the engine that drives that dollar. So this is why we have so much debt in the system, where, think about it, especially here in a first world country, everything we do is based upon debt. I mean, people get iPhones and go into debt to get an iPhone. Everything is debt. Your iPhone is debt. Now Apple, oh, you want a new iPad? You want a new MacBook? Get an Apple Card. Everything is through leverage and debt, where there's more debt in the system than there's actual, even physical cash in the banking system. And I have videos breaking this down. And I love what Zulu Immortal said. That's why it's called the rat race. This is the racket that they create. Now, debt is good when you own assets that produce income that's far greater than the 2% inflation. But most Americans, they don't own enough assets. So now what happens? The rich get bailed out with bailouts. The Fed is pumping trillions of dollars into the market with different lending facilities. And more wealth just goes to those who don't need that wealth in the first place. I've said this before. I have videos breaking this down. Trump's economy was fake and it was phony. because it was being pushed by the Fed with cheap interest rates and cheap money. But average Americans were not benefiting from that cheap money. Nowhere near as great as the top 1% were benefiting. And then as soon as the market crashed, what happened? The Fed ran in and rushed in and bailed out companies after they just went on a 10-year, 12-year bull market. Go figure. So back to gold. It says gold futures touch record as haven demand builds, contract rolls. So let's look at silver. Let's look at good old silver. Again, me, the coon, the agent, the Uncle Tom, the guy who only sounds smart to stupid people. When this crash happened in February and everyone was saying, oh, gold and silver is supposed to be a safe haven. Why is it going down? I told you this was forced margin selling, because what happened was that if you understand the way finance works, you ever worked in finance or you ever traded, you have to have hedges on. And sometimes those hedges can get out of whack where you can be over leveraged and overexposed in one position. So a lot of these hedge funds, they were overexposed to the stock market. So when that volatility hit, you have to liquidate everything. If you want to hold your positions, you sell everything and then you have to reevaluate. So this was all margin selling, all forced selling. Down here to $12. What was I saying? Buy more. Buy more. Don't sell your silver. Buy more. Look. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Dates don't. I can prove what I'm saying. I did a live stream this day. Go back and check March 12th. Buy more. Well, if you would have listened to me, you would have been able to scoop up some cheap silver at $12, at $13, at $14, at $15. And it gave you 2 months, consolidated, moved sideways. And then it moved up, and then it consolidated and moved sideways. And then boom, we get the bomb. Now we at $23. We're at 23. And if you understand the gold to silver ratio, and you understand that more people, especially precious metals investors, they own more gold than silver, then you can really understand that silver has far more potential than gold does. And then when you understand, than gold has, and then when you understand that silver actually has industrial uses, you really can start to see that silver is actually the better bet than gold. Now, guess who was telling you this? Me. I was telling you that silver has far more opportunities for, especially those of you who you may have a $50,000, $40,000, whatever you may have. That's small money, right? Let's be honest. That's small money in the grand scheme of things. Well, guess what? I own silver, lots of it. Let's look at some silver mining stocks. Look at First Majestic. Look, sold off hard. Everything sold off. It's trading at $5. Oh, well, look at it now. It's up here in the $14 range. And these are just some silver companies off the top of my head. This isn't even some of the premium precious metals mining stocks or companies that sell gold bullion or silver bullion. Right? Look at Baruch. I mean, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. Came down here $14. It's all the way up here at 28 and counting. And it's only going to go higher. Look at the GDXJ. This is for the junior miners. This is where really all of the opportunity is really at. And I keep trying to tell you guys about these precious metals mining stocks. This is really, really, really where the value's at with the junior miners. When you understand that, I mean, you can find some junior miners. They're like penny stocks, and they've exploded. I have some junior miners that I was able to buy for like 10 cents. They're trading at like $4 now. This is, especially the exploration companies, the gold and silver exploration companies. It's a phenomenal investment. Right here, $24. It's all the way up here now at almost 60. almost 60. And this is the ETF for those of you. Like, go and research this stuff. Go look at this stuff. Look at Newmont Mining. Look at Newmont Mining. I've been sitting up here telling you guys about this over and over again. This was the pandemic sell-off. Crashed down to 36, gave you buying opportunities. Even crashed down here again at 52 is giving you opportunity. And this is the funny thing, the real bull market hasn't even begun. So back to the article, right? So it says, gold futures traded at a record high as the dollar plunged and concerns about the global economy boosted demand for havens, while a contract roll provided a further boost to the metals rally. It says, bullion's move came as a gauge of the dollar fell to the lowest in more than 6 months amid negative real rates in the U.S. and bets that the Federal Reserve will keep policy accommodative when it meets this week. Inflows into gold-backed exchange-traded funds this year have surpassed a record set in 2009, with total holdings at an all-time high of more than 3,300 tons. Investors have poured into gold as the pandemic hit to global growth underpinned its safe haven, but the metals getting support from a long list of factors. Geopolitical tensions are rising. What did I say earlier about China? Real rates have tumbled. The dollar is weaker, and the government and central banks worldwide have unleashed vast stimulus measures to try to boost economies. What have I been saying on this channel? Think about it. Right now, between the Fed and what the government has printed from different stimulus plans and packages, we're sitting at about $12 to $14 trillion. That's one country. One country. China's easing. China's printing. China's doing stimulus. Europe is doing different stimulus measures. Globally, they're all printing money out of thin air. Globally. So what do you think's going to happen to Bitcoin and different crypto projects? What do you think they're going to pump? What do you think's going to happen? And see, one thing about us as humans, and this goes into like SHA 256, when I was talking to you guys about like how hard it is to brute force Bitcoin. Like when you understand exponential numbers and you take 2 and you raise it to the power of 256, you understand that number is insanely large. It's mathematically infeasible that any computer is ever going to brute force that. And we're talking about modern computers. We're not talking about quantum computers. So you really start to see how safe it is. When you come here to the debt clock, and I'm talking about big numbers, and you see that Social Security is sitting at $20 trillion. It's underfunded. This is the debt. This is a liability that our country is holding. Medicare, $31 trillion. U.S. unfunded liabilities is sitting at $153 trillion. I don't think a lot of you understand that isn't, when you can't even fathom a number that big. That number is huge. That we're never going to pay back that debt. You're never going to pay back that debt. See, the only way you can pay back that debt is either you default or you inflate, right? But you're not going to pay it back with honest money. See, this is why gold is referred to as God's money, because you can't print more of it. You have to physically go and find it. You can't just go into your computer and say, you know what? I want to print 50 ounces of gold. And this is why the world is looking for an alternative to this madness with fiat currencies. That's insane to have that much debt. Look at this. Household assets is at 102 trillion, but the debt, the unfunded liabilities is at 153 trillion. Just like Bitcoin, Courtney Gibson, Bitcoin's actually harder money than gold. And I'm going to get to the whole stock to flow article in a second. But and then you look at just the US national debt, it's $26 trillion. And then you have to start thinking about the interest on this debt. We're going to get to the point where the government's biggest expenditure is going to be the interest on the debt alone. The interest on the debt is going to be a larger payment than the debt itself. Once you understand, exponential growth in numbers, it's insane when you understand this. And this is why you have to educate yourself. This is why I created my Tech Academy. This is why I keep telling you guys about crypto. I keep telling you guys about gold and silver, because we are going to have an economic reset one way or another. Either it's going to be by force or it's going to be by some external event that's going to happen, but we're going to have it happen. I know, Joel Hogan, my ETH bags, look at this, $321. And just to flex a little bit, right? So here, 6 months ago, I told you when it was at 143. Let's go to the top of the page and let's look at what I posted yesterday. Let's look at what I posted yesterday. I said 7 months ago, I told you guys about investing in Ethereum when it was trading at $143. Now it's sitting just below $300, meaning you would have doubled your money in less than a year. The beautiful thing is the bull market hasn't even started yet. What separates me from most is that I put my money where my mouth is. A wealth transfer is happening. Don't miss out on this opportunity of a lifetime. ETH was at $294. It was at $294 yesterday. Now we're sitting here and we're at $321. We're sitting at $321. And if you understand decentralized finance, and you understand that this is a global opportunity, and you understand that this is a global market, you understand the implications of globally everyone printing money and where this can go. Congratulations to you, great filibuster. You understand where this can go. And then I started posting job opportunities into my Tech Academy. When you start understanding that there's going to be a wave of so much innovation, like right now, Polkadot. Polkadot's going to be an amazing project, and a lot of you need to start paying attention to this. You really need to pay attention to Polkadot and what they're trying to do, because Gavin Wood worked with Ethereum and he helped create Ethereum with Vitalik. That's a project that you really, really need to start paying attention to. And I'm going to do like a whole series about that. I'll probably just make that public on the channel. This is why we're starting the coding boot camp. That should be available any day now, so that you guys can have the skills to be able to really go out here and try to command the marketplace and try to go out here and make some money, in this space, because there's going to be a lot of job opportunities. What did I tell you guys? It's going to be the best of times for some and the worst of times for others. Certain segments of the economy and sectors, it's going to feel like one of the greatest booms of all time. Like, look at Amazon. It is surging. Look at the stock market. It's surging. And then some companies are filing bankruptcy. And then for others, it's going to be the worst of times. So some are going to feel like they're in a bubble. Others are going to feel like they're in a recession. And then other parts of the economy is going to feel like a depression. It all just depends on where you are in this whole ecosystem that's happening. And I tell you guys, if you can't afford to join my Tech Academy, then go take some free tutorials on YouTube. Go take a course with Udacity. Go take a course with Udemy. Go learn about, if you don't want to be a programmer, learn about the hardware. Learn about something that's based around STEM, because STEM is going to be what powers the future. And to work at Google, Amazon, many of these companies, you don't need a college degree. What you need is understanding of the technology in a major way. But back to what I was saying about tensions rising, right? Look what Ray Dalio just put out. He said Ray Dalio warns of a U.S.-China capital war that would hit the dollar. You don't think that China was aware of what was happening with the virus? They were aware. They knew about this back during the Chinese New Year, back in January. See, I told you guys, this is economic warfare. This is economic terrorism. The little brother doesn't want to be the little brother forever. Eventually, they want to take on the big brother. Right? Let's just read a little bit of this. It says, billionaire investor Ray Dalio said conflict between the U.S. and China could expand into a capital war that he suggested would harm the dollar. The founder of Bridgewater Associates laid out a scenario for the next clash between the two countries based on measures that he said are within the realm of possibility. He also warned that loose fiscal policy and ideological driven divisions are pushing the U.S. into decline. There's a trade war, there's a technology war, there is a geopolitical war, and there could be a capital war, Dalio said on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures. I didn't even read this article yet. I'm reading this article with you. What have I been saying before? You can go back to my video with the NBA in China when I was talking about what they're over there doing to the Uyghur Muslims, how so much of our manufacturing is based over there, how China was purposely buying up supplies from other countries before this whole pandemic was made aware to everyone. So the U.S. couldn't get masks and U.S. couldn't get certain, supplies that they needed, saline bags. This is a way to cripple the West. Because the West is vulnerable right now. Look what they're doing in Africa. I just did a video about China and Africa. There's a geopolitical war. There's a technological war. And there's a trade war. And Russia and China, they're working together. Russia and China is working together with Iran. So then you hear people saying, oh, well, a lot of Bitcoin mining is centralized in China. Okay. Well, if China becomes a new superpower, I want my Bitcoin being over there for my bags to pump. I'll figure out how to shuffle everything after my bags pump. Right? I'll figure out where I need to put my money after my bags pump. Pump my bags right now. I'll figure out what I need to do with the money. And if I need to sell my gold and silver, if I need to go into real estate, pump my bags. And my bags are going to pump. Trade war is going to be good for the bags. Now, because we know the Fed's not letting the market go down. We know that, right? It says, if you say by law, don't invest in China, or even possibly withholding payment of bonds that the United States owes payment on in China, these things are possibilities, and they have big implications, such as for the value of the dollar. The U.S. is already endangering the dollar's stability by being our own worst enemy, he said. The dollar has fallen against all major currencies tracked by Bloomberg in the past 3 months. The things I worry about the most are the soundness of our money, Dalio said. You can't continue to run deficits, sell debt, or print money rather than be productive and sustain that over a period of time. If we don't work together to do the sound things, to be productive, to earn more than we spend, to build the stability of our currency and build the balance sheet, we are going to decline, he added. We are declining because of those things. I mean, he sounds like me, or maybe I sound like him. Who cares? I've been telling you guys this, man. I've been screaming this to the high heavens. Look at this. Look at just all of the pieces on the chessboard right now and how they're maneuvering and how it's playing out. And let me see if I can get the video. Let me see something. Right? Let me see if I can find this video about the Great Reset. Right? The Great Reset. Give me 1 second. See if I can find this video. I think his name is Klaus, right? With a K. Let's see if I can, so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. Right? Let's see if just give me 1 second. Here we go. Just so you guys can understand that I'm not making this up. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you the truth. Now, what you want to do with this truth is on you. Give me a second. Let's fix this. Fix the audio. All right.
Which would lead to the amplification of many of the trends we see today. Polarization, nationalism, lead system, laid hundreds of millions of people.
Us underway.
The most severe. It is obvious that we are in the midst of the most severe crisis the world has experienced since World War II. 75 years ago, countries and people came together to shape the post-war global order, which brought us decades of peace, increased global cooperation, and prosperity to hundreds of millions of people around the world. The COVID-19 crisis has shown us that our old systems are not fit anymore for the 21st century. It has laid bare the fundamental lack of social cohesion, fairness, inclusion, and equality. Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system for the need for the post-corona era. We have a choice to remain passive, which would lead to the amplification of many of the trends we see today. Polarization, nationalism, racism, and ultimately increased social unrest and conflicts. But we have another choice. We can build a new social contract, particularly integrating the next generation. We can change our behavior to be in harmony with nature again. And we can make sure that the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution are best utilized to provide us with better lives. In short, we need a great reset. We have to mobilize all constituents of our global society to work together.
I'm not here to promote conspiracy theories. It's titled The Great Reset. He's telling you, this is the fourth industrial revolution and that our system is no longer adequate. Now, whether that may be true or may not be true, maybe they're encouraging this to happen. Maybe they're behind the scenes pulling the lever. I don't care and I don't know. What I'm focused on is making sure that I can survive and thrive. That's what I focus on. I put my energy into things that actually matter. But if you go to the World Economic Forum, if you go to Davos, you can pull this up. They're so bold. That's why I started to say to you guys, they're so bold that they're telling you this now. They're not, see, back in the day, you had to hide this and you had to sneak around and you had to read books like Behold the Pale Horse with William Cooper. They're so bold that they are literally putting this in your face right now. And I keep telling you, crypto is our last great hope. It's our last hope. It's one of our last great hopes to capture wealth. Ripple was absolutely garbage. Chris M, I hate to say it to you. I'm not a fan of Ripple. I believe that Ripple is more of the same as far as the technology is concerned. Could it pump? Right now, understand. Right, there's two different hats you have to wear. When I say Ripple is garbage, I'm saying Ripple is garbage from the standpoint of the technology that they're using. Like, there's nothing new about it, right? It's garbage from that standpoint. That doesn't mean that the bags can't pump, right? So this is where you have to be like a three-dimensional thinker and understand from a technology standpoint. Ripple to me is not permissionless. It's not borderless. It's not transparent. It's not decentralized. It's not open, right? So I don't like that. Like, I don't like the fact that there's so much about the project that I don't know, that I have to trust in the company Ripple Labs to actually be able to develop, right? So I don't like that. XRP Pioneer, it's not that Bitcoin is new technology. It's that the way that Bitcoin blended the technology, it's decentralized, it's open, it's borderless, and it's permissionless. I don't have to trust in the company. I don't. And understand that Bitcoin has flaws too. That's why we have Monero. If Bitcoin was so great, Monero wouldn't exist. If Bitcoin was so great, Cardano wouldn't exist, or an Ethereum wouldn't exist. But right now, when we're looking at the technology and what the technology is designed to do and what it's actually doing, Bitcoin is better than Ripple. Because you can tell me about all of these thousands of transactions that it can do per second. Until they're actually doing it on a large global scale, I don't care about what they're telling you they can do. I care about results and actions. And the marketplace cares the same way. Right? So that's the reality. When you look at Ripple, so again, from a technological standpoint, Ripple is garbage. Ripple is more of the same. It's the banker's coin, if anything. Now, again, as I said before, that doesn't mean that your bags can't pump. Your bags can pump in a major way with Ripple. It could easily hit $5 or whatever if people want to pump money into it. I don't own Ripple. I've traded it before just to make a quick buck. I would not recommend Ripple to anyone. The projects that I recommend to people are sound projects, are projects that I really feel people can make money in, and the technology is actually sound, and it can actually revolutionize and change something. I've been on this channel talking about Ethereum, talking about Tezos, talking about Chainlink, talking about Monero, like Tron. I think Tron is garbage. Justin's son is a dictator. I don't trust that project, and I don't trust the people behind it. VeChain, a good project, right? I talk to you guys all the time. Atom, good project. Ontology, good project. I talk to you guys about good projects that I believe is actually going to bring some real change to the world and actually make us some money. But like I was saying, going back to the Great Reset, this stuff is in your face now. What are you going to do? It's here. Look at gold. It's pumping. Look at that pump. I agree with you, XRP Pioneer 504. Everything is going to pump. The question is, what's going to pump more? And the question is, what's going to be around 3 to 5 years from now? Right? That's the question that you have to understand. I'm an OG in crypto. I've been around for a very, very long time. I've seen a lot of people lose money trying to time the market. I've witnessed and I saw people lose massive amounts of gains by sitting around and trying to time the market and swing trade the market or day trade the market. They would have made more money by just holding. By just simply holding. They would have made much more money. I've witnessed this. I've lived it. I've missed out on opportunities playing around trying to day trade this and swing trade this when all I had to do is just simply hold it. I'm talking about thousands of percent of gains. But when I look at Ripple, just to go back, thank you for the donation, Chris M. When I look at Ripple and I look at this, I don't see it hitting $10 at all. Like there's just from a market cap standpoint, just think about how big of a market cap it would have to get to in order for it to be worth $10. And see, these are things that you need to think about too, Chris M, when you're investing. Like it's already basically a $10 billion asset, right? So that tells you for it to get what it would have to at 41 cents it would be worth what, 20 billion? Then at 80 cents it'd be worth 40 billion. Like there's no way I see Ripple getting to $1 trillion market cap or a $500 billion market cap. Like there's just no way. I just don't see it, right? So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just like I don't see that, right? When I look at Ethereum, understanding that it's a protocol, understanding that you have to, when we move to proof of stake, when people are actually locking their ETH up to validate transactions, that means that's ETH being taken out of circulation, right? So that's going to artificially push prices up because you're taking supply out of the market and you're locking it up to validate transactions. And you need 32 ETH in order to be able to be a validator. That's important, right? That's real economic value that's going to be happening on a chain. That's supply being taken out of the market. And when I look at it like a protocol, and I understand that so many different applications, dApps, are going to be built on top of it, that ETH's going to capture most of the value. We're going to have an inversion. Like when you look at the internet's an application that runs on top of TCP and IP. The TCP protocol, the IP protocol, SMTP, they didn't get to capture any of that wealth. But Amazon was able to capture that wealth, and Facebook and so many different companies, they were able to capture the wealth. It's going to be the inverse with crypto. Like if Tezos is successful, right? Tezos is going to capture all of that wealth because it's the base layer protocol. So you have to look at Ethereum like Legos, and Ethereum is the base layer Lego, and everything that's going to be built on top of Ethereum is going to pass down all of that wealth down to Ethereum, because remember, in order to power these smart contracts in these different applications, you need Ether, which is the currency of Ethereum. So when you understand that, most of that value and wealth is going to be captured in the protocol base layer. And then, you may have some phenomenal applications running on top of it. And then when you understand the power of oracles, this is why I say, like a Chainlink, I can see Chainlink getting to, $100, $200 billion possibly. Why? Because you need oracles to be able to validate the data that's going into these smart contracts, right? Like if Tezos is successful, then Chainlink's going to be successful. If Ethereum is successful, then Chainlink's going to be successful, because you're going to need these oracles to validate that data that's coming in to say that, for example, let's say that you have like sports betting going on and you're betting on the Bulls versus the Wizards game, right? You need to be able to authenticate and validate that the data that's being fed into that betting contract is correct to actually make those odds and make sure that people are getting paid out. Because what if the data is saying that, the Bulls won the game, but they actually didn't win the game? Like, who's going to validate that data and make sure that it's correct, that's being fed into that smart contract that's going to be taking care of the betting odds? That's where oracles come into play. Okay, I'm successfully reconnected. Right. So when I look at a Chainlink and I look at any of these oracles, I see the potential. It says my stream is offline. Oh man. Okay, I'm back. I lost you guys for a second. So that's why I look at like oracles as being really, really powerful, and that's why I keep telling you guys about Polkadot. Polkadot's going to be an amazing project. And that's one of the projects I really think that you guys should be taking a look at. Styles Washington, no, Ethereum's not silver. Ethereum is designed to do more than just be silver. See, Bitcoin is designed to do one thing and do one thing really well. it's designed to be money, right? It's designed to be hard money, digital gold. Ethereum does not believe that code is law. Ethereum does not believe in immutability. Ethereum will roll back the chain, as we've witnessed with the whole DAO hack. Ethereum is trying to be the world's supercomputer. Ethereum is trying to be a financial hub, right? So I would say look at Ethereum as like a software platform where you're going to have so many different applications and software and stable coins, and even like a Bitcoin built on Ethereum, where Bitcoin is designed to do one thing and one thing really well. See, and I cover this in my Tech Academy, where I really go over this type of stuff, right? Like, Bitcoin is money, and that's it. And that's what makes Bitcoin so valuable, because it does that really, really well. Ethereum right now, they're trying to find themselves. And with technology, whenever you're going through discovery, you get a lot of booms and crazy multiples. Like, look at Tesla. Tesla's not a good company, but you're not investing in what Tesla is today. You're investing in what Tesla may become, right? You're thinking about what Tesla may be one day. And that's what you look at Ethereum, right? Like, you start saying to yourself, and this is sometimes how the market can get far ahead of itself, because you say, I'm not buying Ethereum today because it's scaled. I'm not buying Ethereum today because they've taken care of, the gas fees issues. I'm buying Ethereum because one day it may solve those problems, right? Right. So when you think about that, and I like what Courtney Gibson said, ETH is internet money, fiat money. Yeah, like look at Ethereum like sort of like a central bank. Right, because they set their own monetary policy. There's no hard cap on how much Ether actually exists. It's an experiment, right? So, and they're going to move like parts of the chain to proof of stake, and they're going to shard the chain. Like, all of that stuff is an experiment. But what you have to understand is that sometimes the market can get far ahead of the experiment, and this is why you have to make sure that you are paying attention to this. And educating yourself about that, right? So that you can start to see, like, Ethereum, Ether is the currency, but Ethereum is the EVM, the dApps and everything, the smart contracts, all of that stuff that comes with the ecosystem. And if Ethereum can pull off ETH 2.0, because remember, we've been waiting for ETH 2.0 now for 3 years, we still don't have it. If we can get ETH 2.0, and it is just halfway as good as they're claiming it could be, this could easily be a $1 trillion market, a $2 trillion market. That's a lot of money for us, guys. It's a lot of money, right? So it has the potential to be something really great. But I really want you guys to pay attention to Polkadot, man. I really, really want you to pay attention to Polkadot. Really start looking into that. I'm going to start sharing articles and stuff like that in my Tech Academy about this project. Polkadot is something that you guys need to be paying attention to. And I'm just going to leave it there. This is going to be for people inside of the Academy. And it was one last thing I wanted to share with you guys right here. So it says Fed repos have plowed $6.6 trillion to Wall Street in 4 months. That's 34% of its feeding tube during an epic financial crash. So let's zoom into this article. And I really, really would encourage you guys to start reading this blog, Wall Street on Parade. It's a really, really good blog. According to the data made available on public websites, you can pull this up on the New York Fed. I'll get to your question in a second, Thundora. Since September 17th, 2019, it has funneled a cumulative total of $6.6 trillion to some of the 24 trading houses on Wall Street that are known as its primary dealers. The giant sum has been made to Wall Street in the form of repurchase agreement, repo loans, without any details being provided to the elected representatives in Congress as to which firms are getting the money or what it's being ultimately used for. But since the stock market has set repeated new highs since the program launched, some veteran market watchers believe the Fed is fueling a Ponzi-like rally. Why am I sharing this with you? This is $6.6 trillion since September 17th. I want to pull up the S&P 500 for you. If you go back here in September and you watch this market, how it moved sideways, and you realize all of that money was being pumped in there since September 17th, and then something interesting happened in October. The market just went on a tear the whole month of November, December, and January, right up here to February. And I kept telling you guys, this market is artificial. When the market kept making new highs and, Bitcoin wasn't doing that well and crypto wasn't doing that well and gold and silver wasn't doing that well, going all the way back to September, I was telling you, this is all manipulation. If you pump $6 trillion into the market, yes, the market is going to go up. Yes, the market's going to go up. And then look what happened. The pandemic happened. The market started to roll over hard. Very, very, very hard. Very, very, very hard. And then what happened? Down in here, the Fed started launching all of these different lending facilities and different stimulus packages and different bailouts to the point where now the Fed is actually going in the market and buying bonds, junk bonds, and ETFs. And then look, the market, soon as the Fed stepped back in and gave Wall Street what they needed because Wall Street's addicted to cheap money, look what happened. The market went right back up. So now we know this. And we know crypto right now is correlated heavily to the stock market. So we know that if the Fed's going to accommodate the stock market and keep pumping money into the stock market and prop up the market, well, that's good for crypto. And then when you start thinking about all of these countries around the world that's going to keep printing money and debasing their currency, that's good for crypto. It's going to keep happening. Now, someone just donated $5. Thundora, one, thank you. Why do you call it a pandemic? Do you think it was planned by China in advance? I don't know exactly if China planned it. What I will say is this. This is what I will say. When you look at how the WHO handled this, when you look at the fact that the whistleblower, the original person in Wuhan, started trying to tell people what was going on, and then he was apprehended by the police in China, or what's equivalent to the police in China, and then he magically ended up dying about a week or two after that. That raises a little bit of suspicion. Then when you start understanding that the WHO was saying for the longest that, oh, no, it's not that bad, there's no human-to-human transmission, when they knew that there was human-to-human transmission, okay, that's red flag number 2. So now you start saying to yourself, okay, this is problematic. Now when you look at how the United States handled this, okay, so we know that China's a communist country. They were reporting that they weren't having any, no serious spread. But then we see videos. I have a video on this channel breaking this down of them boarding up people in their buildings, and not like literally they were sealing people in their buildings, but then telling the media and telling the rest of the world that they have it under control. Now let's look at how the United States handled this. There's no way that little old me, that I could sit over here and know that I shouldn't be trusting China, but then the United States didn't know that we shouldn't be trusting China. Like, look how weak we responded. Like, Trump was saying, oh, it's not that bad, it's going to be just like the flu, but yet he's always the one talking about fake news. So you mean to tell me he doesn't trust the media any other time, But now he's trusting the media when it comes. Remember, we're talking about back in January and early February. We're talking about January, late January, early February. So this is a man who's telling you that the news is fake news. His whole campaign is based off of that. But then now all of a sudden, he's going to believe that same media or that same news, these news outlets, and basically say, oh, no, it's not that bad. You know, China has everything under control. And then boom, it explodes like a powder keg here. So remember now, we're talking about a Cold War. Maybe, just maybe, and this is me putting my conspiracy theory hat on. You know, I don't like to do this, but, you know, this is how I start thinking. Maybe the U.S. knew that it was bad, and they wanted it to be bad so that they can have an excuse now to continue this escalation with China, right? Because, see, as I said to you before, when countries get deep into debt, even if you look at the crash of 29, you know what comes after that? World War, right? Like the only way we're going to get out of this, deflationary spiral that we're in is war, or to default on our money. So when you start looking at all of the pieces on a chessboard, you start saying to yourself, okay, so the WHO was saying that there's not a problem. The CDC was saying, oh, it's not that serious at first. Now then all of a sudden now it's serious. When I say it could have happened naturally in nature, right? So let's say maybe it did originate from a bat in a market somewhere in Wuhan. That doesn't mean that the officials didn't know, and maybe they didn't respond aggressively as they should, because maybe they wanted this to happen some way. Now you start putting this together with, where is it at? The Great Reset. And you start listening to people like this man speak, and he's telling you that our systems are inadequate. And he start listening to him say all these different things. He's basically saying that it's time for the New World Order, right? Like all of these things are happening and converging. And then, you know, this virus is supposed to be so deadly, yet you see people going to protests and you know, thousands and thousands of people, and you don't see this spike in cases. So, you know, I'm not saying that it's not real and that people can't get sick. What I'm saying is that there's definitely an exaggeration to how people are responding to it, right? There's an over-exaggeration, and it really starts to make you question, you know, like Rahm Emanuel said years ago, never let a good crisis go to waste. And you start to see the way that these people are responding. You start saying to yourself, there's more to this than what these individuals are saying. So that's where I put it at. And I hope that can answer your question, right? You know, as I said before, me, you know, I'm a 3-dimensional thinker. So there's an aspect of me that I entertain conspiracy theories, not because I believe them, but because it may give you more insight as to what's going on. See, it's not a conspiracy theory when they're coming out. It's the platform is entitled The Great Reset. Like you know, you have the world finance, Elon Musk and people like this are at this event, right? So you this isn't some Alex Jones, David Icke, you know, tinfoil foolishness that I'm talking and speaking about here. Like, you have the world's financial elite, the wealthiest, the power brokers of the world, sitting down at an economic forum, and they're telling you that they want a great reset, and they're using COVID as their reason to do that. Right. Like you can't ignore that. Right. You have to pay attention to that for what it is and see it for what it is. And I'm not here to scare you guys. I'm here to teach you guys how to thrive in this. See, that's the thing about me. I'm about solutions. Right? I'm not about sitting up here and all day long and trying to scare you guys. I'm trying to get you guys prepared. I'm trying to tell you some solutions, how you can earn some wealth, some opportunity in this thing. Because at the end of the day, listen, I told you, I went through my conspiracy theory phase. I went through my phase. The world was supposed to end in 2012, and we're here in 2020, and the world did not end. My bills are still due and still have to get paid every single month, right? So I'm doing my best to onboard you people into crypto, to get you people into technology, because technology is the future. Give me 1 second. I'll show you something. Just to, before I take some questions. I don't know why my computer keeps doing this. I've done presentations on this. This is here, guys. This is here. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to inform you. This is coming. Right? So, you can either pay attention to this and see it for what it is. The robots are coming. And this is what Jeff Booth's book is about. And this is why I keep trying to tell you guys to really go and read this man's book about the price of tomorrow. It's important that you read this man's book so you can understand. These robots are going to take jobs. Robots, they don't get sick. They don't need a pension plan. They don't need health insurance. They don't need a 401k. Right? Technology is going to keep improving. It's here. It's in your face. Just go on Twitter and type in Boston Dynamics. You can see video after video after video of this. Let's go here to videos. Look. These will be in factories. These little robot dogs will be in factories. I can promise you that. So what is going to happen to jobs? Self-driving cars are here. This is not me, talking to you about something, that's far off. Tesla's working on a self-driving truck. I have videos on my channel breaking this stuff down. So what do you think Uber is doing right now? Uber's working on self-driving cars as well and utilizing that technology on Uber. Well, what's going to happen to all of the Uber drivers? What's going to happen to taxi drivers? Where are they going to go and work? This is all a part of the fourth industrial revolution. It's all part of the fourth industrial revolution. What do you think? What do you think Neuralink is about? Elon Musk project, right? Like they try to sell you the health benefits of it's about merging man with the machine. Now, there's a movie called Elysium, and I'll plug the link for you guys. I'll give you a second. Let me pull it up right now. Because one thing about me, I don't promote conspiracy theory. I like to give you guys relevant information that you can go and verify on your own. I definitely have to fix that link. It keeps doing that. This is a movie right here called Elysium. And I believe this is Matt Damon. I don't know my actors that well. I believe it's Matt Damon. I focus on making money. And in the movie, it's the people, they live in California. And the world's overpopulated. It's overcrowded. There's a lot of pollution and poverty. And up in space, there's like a star, and it's like people live on that star. It's like I don't know the word to use. It's like they made like a space station. That's the word. It's like a space station up in space, and they have like clean water. They have it's green. It's clean air. They can heal themselves so they can live forever. Like any illness that they have. They have like this like a microchip plant in the back of their ear so they can like input so much information into their brain. Like literally, it's in the movie in 2013. It's here. It's here. Like I'm not making this up. And the people Like there's only like the elite live on that space station and they can like live forever. And like the people they're like trying to get on ships to get up there and they're like blowing up the ships before the people can get there. And Matt Damon, he gets sick. Like Matt Damon in the building, like the robots, and like the robots police the people down there in the streets. I really would encourage you people to go there and go and watch this movie because this is really for what's to come. You know, it's really what's to come, and it's here. It's in our face. So crypto is our last shot. Crypto is our last shot. That's it, right? And look at these gains. If you listen to me right now, yeah, look, he said his PO was a robot. Yeah, his PO was a robot, right? Look at these gains. I have to brag about this because I've been telling you guys about this. Look at this pump. And if we pull it up over 1 month, Ethereum's up 40% for the month. You know? Silver's pumping. Gold's pumping. The question is, are you going to get you some? Look at Cardano, 81%. Congratulations to all of those who own Cardano. You have, and I follow what you were saying. I've made real live money off what you said. Thank you so much, Styles. A lot of people have, like, even with the SBA loans, a lot of you were able to get SBA loans when I told you guys about that. I had a guy who told me he got a $20,000 SBA loan and he put it into Ethereum. So I know he's happy right now because he put his SBA. I don't encourage you to borrow money to go into crypto. I'm not going to encourage that. But listen. Pure Gosu. I don't believe silver is expensive, but as I was saying to you guys before, I believe that at the end of the day, as far as bang for your buck, my money's on crypto. I don't believe silver is overpriced. I believe silver, we can easily see $50 silver easily within the next 90 to 180 days. Easy, right? We're at a $308 billion market cap. When you understand how tiny this is, you say to yourself that we have so much room to go, right? You know, my bet is on crypto. I told you I'm not really playing in the stock market. The only stocks I own is precious metals, precious metal mining stocks. That's it. I'm playing in the mining stocks, and I own gold and silver. I'm banking on crypto because I just understand where this is going to go. And I understand, like the video I did the other day with JP Morgan getting permission now to be able to, not JP Morgan, but just all banks in general, national banks, they can actually do custody for crypto. So you know what's coming next, like I said yesterday. An IPO for coin, not yesterday, I think it was today, Sunday, I did that video, I believe Thursday or Friday. You know next Coinbase is going to IPO. You know that's coming. Coinbase is going to IPO, and you know JP Morgan's going to take them public. Now, remember, Jamie Dimon was the main one saying crypto was a scam. And Bitcoin was a fraud. Yet now, they're working with Coinbase and Gemini as far as their accounts are concerned. So you know Coinbase is gearing up for an IPO. Just look at all of the coins that they're listing. They're all protocol-based coins, or coins that the SEC wouldn't have any problems with. They're not going to have to jump through any regulatory loopholes. You know what's coming. So we know the big boys are coming. Now, will that be good for crypto as far as protect? Are we leaving one burning house and corporatizing crypto and jumping into another burning house? Maybe. I'm truthful, but at the end of the day, I want my bags to pump. I'll figure everything else out after my bags pump. Joel Hogan, thank you for the donation. This is why I left Pro Black Twitter and joined My Tech Academy. Now my Twitter is filled with bankless coin talks instead of ancestors. Yeah, Joel Hogan, you have to, you have to, at a certain point, like if a person is going to sit up here and talk to you about, poverty all day long and talk to you about racism all day long and white supremacy, at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? If all we're going to do is just sit around here all day long and talk about our problems or whatever we think the problem is, at a certain point, you have to be solution based. I don't have time to sit around all day long and listen to you tell me about problems. I'm trying to make money and solve my problems. I'm trying to build some generational wealth in my life. And as I said before, I'll figure that out when it's time, right? But I'm not going to sit up here and be a trauma pimp and talk to you every time some unarmed black man gets shot. We have to come on here and do the same old video over and over again. Man, let's try to build something. Let's get us something. I'm trying to give you guys some skills, point you guys in a direction to get some skills. That's what I'm focused on doing. And I'm going to do my best. It's hard, but I'm going to do my best to do that. Styles Washington, thank you for the donation. Warren Buffett talked bad about crypto, of course, but a lot of his subsidiaries participate in crypto. And don't you think for 1 second, remember I told you, the financial elite, they've mastered the art of tricknology, right? They've mastered that art where they'll tell you one thing over here. Don't buy this. Let me sell you some derivatives, right? Let me sell you some credit default swaps. Let me sell you these CDOs. They're just as good as treasuries, right? But the CDOs, right? All of those derivatives, the CDOs and the CDO swaps, they're filled with a bunch of garbage mortgages. But Jamie Dimon and them, they're selling you, this is AAA credit rating. Buy this stuff. Don't mess with that. Don't buy this garbage over here. And while they're selling you this AAA rated garbage that they know is going to explode, that's a ticking time bomb, they're shorting what they're selling you. See, this is how the banks operate. They'll sell you something and say, look at this. This is great. Tom, Bill, Susie, Sally, Daquan, you're going to get rich. Put this in your portfolio. Put this in your pension. This is just as good as government grade A securities. And they know in 2 or 3 years, it's a ticking time bomb. Soon as the economy starts to get a little bit shaky, people are going to lose their job. They're not going to be able to pay their mortgages. They're going to foreclose. Those are illiquid markets, so you can't really even sell out of those derivatives. And then boom, you're stuck holding the bag. And then these banks can say, hey, listen, we know we shouldn't have sold these people these things. These investors, they didn't have any business or the expertise to be investing in derivatives. Well, then they could go to the Fed and the government and say, hey, listen, if you don't bail us out, we sold $4 quadrillion worth of these assets. So we've rehypothecated an asset where we've actually sold someone's home 4 or 5 times over if you look at the derivatives, because we created a derivative on top of a derivative on top of a derivative that really doesn't even exist in the first place. And if you don't bail us out, the economy is going to blow up. That's not a scam. That's called financial engineering. But don't you buy that Bitcoin thing. Don't you buy that Bitcoin thing. That Bitcoin thing is a scam. You don't know who Satoshi is. But look at me. You know who Jamie Dimon is. I wouldn't cheat you. And then, boom, it explodes. And the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. So they've mastered tricknology. But if you read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, as I've been telling you guys, you know this already. I don't trust nothing these people say. I don't trust anything that these people say. They've mastered tricknology. So when Warren Buffett is telling me that it's baby brains and it's rat poison, when Jamie Dimon is saying it's a fraud, when the PayPal CEO, I have a video I did on that last week, it's the old CEO was saying Bitcoin's a scam. Oh, and then by the way, now guess who's about to start allowing you to buy and sell cryptocurrencies? PayPal. At a certain point, you have to start saying to yourself, I'm not listening to nothing these people say. Cardano. Do I think that Cardano can reach $5? Possibly. It could possibly, because it's a protocol. Any successful protocol, I can see it easily reaching $1 trillion market cap. Easily. Any protocol where you're going to have people building applications on top of it. Any software application, a platform, like I said, like a Tezos, like a NEM, like an EOS, even though I don't like those projects. If they are successful, I can easily see them getting to $1 trillion. But the reality is this: most of the development is happening on Ethereum. Most of the, mental capital and financial capital is on Ethereum. And once you get that network effect, it's very hard for someone else to come and just overthrow you. So while it's possible that it could do it, in theory, I don't see it. I mean, in theory, while it's possible, in reality, I just don't see it. Right? But understand, that doesn't mean that it can't get to about $2, right? We could definitely see $2 Cardano. We could definitely see, a $2 EOS. I mean, $8 EOS easily. Easily. Right? So we can easily see that. And that's what I was trying to say to you guys. Just think about this for a second. We're in a speculative asset class. Just think about this. We're in that means we don't know what any of this stuff is worth. We don't know. What we do know right now, is that this is a $300 billion asset class, which we know is tiny. We know that the stock market's a $100 trillion plus asset class. I'm just telling you guys, what if we get to 2 trillion, 3 trillion overall of all cryptos combined? All of our bags are going to pump. Right, guys? All of our bags. You like Ripple? Guess what? It's going to pump. Now, does that mean the technology is good? I don't like the technology. But that doesn't mean your bag won't pump. Cardano's going to pump. Tezos is going to pump. All of these cryptos are going to... Guys, we're going to get rich. We're going to get rich. If you own crypto, if you've been in crypto for as long as I've been in crypto, if you've been in crypto for the past 3, 4, 5 years, you didn't sell your bags, you've been dollar cost averaging, we're getting rich. We are going to get rich. That's just the reality. We don't have to force this. Right? That's it. Just buy your stuff, buy good don't buy garbage, buy quality projects, and just hold. Right? That's all you have to do. Buy some quality projects, hold, learn about the technology, learn about smart contracts, learn about immutability, permissionless, borderless, learn about all that stuff, digital signatures, learn all of that stuff, right? The Ethereum virtual machine, learn the technicals. It's okay. Otherwise, you're going to get rich, man. Just buy and hold. Just buy and hold. That's all you got to do. Buy good projects and hold, and we'll be good. And then at a certain point, like I said, once we reach $1 trillion, $1.5 trillion market cap, then you can start thinking about selling. Let's see what else is going on in here. I've never invested in digital real estate, Taylor. Never. I don't even really know what that is, to be quite honest with you. Maybe you have to phrase the question differently, or type the question differently. Tesla funds the numbers also. Yeah, but you have to understand, man, the market can remain, like, look at Tesla. There's so many bears. I was a bear on Tesla. I never shorted it, but I just didn't believe in the company. But the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. And when the Fed can print trillions of dollars, and then Wall Street can go lever up 50 to 1, 100 to 1, you can take a $20 billion fund and you can lever that fund up 50 to 1, 100 to 1 with different derivatives and different, brokerages that you can trade through, and, different, just so many different ways you can lever up with options, etc. Like, Tesla can go anywhere. It can go as high as it wants to go. So, that's why I say to people, like, when you short stuff like that, that's stupid, because there's no cap on where Tesla can go, because there's so much cheap money, right? You have to think about it. So many of these firms and these institutions, they have to make a return for their clients. So they pile into Apple, they pile into Tesla, they pile into Facebook. So although the valuation may not make sense based upon where the current market is at and the company is currently at, it can still keep pumping because people need to make money. And there's so much money sitting on the sidelines. Like, there's so many rich people sitting on the sideline. They're sitting on so much cash that they need to earn a return on. So that money naturally, it just goes into Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. It goes into, now you start seeing Zoom pump and all, like, you're going to see it. It's just going to happen because it's just so much money. And if you short that, you're going to get your face ripped off. Like, that's why I would never short a stock like a Tesla, because it can the market can remain irrational for years, way longer than you can remain solvent and hold your shorts. Let's see what else is in the chat. What we coming up on? Oh, wow. I didn't want to make this an hour and 40 minutes, and I turned it into an hour and 40 minutes. I'll take a couple more questions. A short Tesla now, too many sketchy things going on with their accountant. Yeah, it is, but listen, I'm not shorting it. I've learned my lesson from shorting stocks. I don't play with those shorts. Tesla will rip your face off. Short it after Elon is long gone. I wouldn't short it. Jimmy Buckets, I do not give out financial advice. What I will say to you is that any money that I get, I'm still putting it into precious metals. I'm still buying precious metals. You've seen nothing yet. The only way out of this is more inflation. That's it. There's no way out of this. We have to print more, trillions upon trillions of more dollars. So you could wait for a pullback if you want to. You can dollar cost average. So as I constantly tell people, if I had $10,000 to invest, I'll put $1,000 in now. I'll wait for a pullback, put another $1,000 in, and I'll just keep averaging my way, and I'll build a position long term. And that's why I try to tell you guys, like, you don't go all in at one time. You're allocating capital over a long period of time, right? This is a macro thesis. We're not talking about a trade here, right? So for example, like if you're trading something, you have to have a time frame. Am I day trading? That time frame may be seconds, maybe minutes. Am I swing trading? That could be 3 to 5 days, if not a few weeks, or maybe a couple months. Or is this going to be a long-term macro buy and hold? Like when I'm buying crypto, and I'm looking like with Tezos, this is $2 billion. This is tiny. So I'm coming into Tezos. I'm putting $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to work over time. I'm getting a big bag of Tezos, because when this 10x's or this 5x's or this 8x's on my money over a 3-year period, I'm making massive gains that I'm just not going to be able to get in these little penny stocks as far as having the liquidity, right? Like when you're trading with a big position, it's not easy to get in and get out of a lot of these penny stocks. Like Hex. When I always hear people talk about Hex, like, or did a 2,000% gain. Yeah, but if I'm all of the liquidity in Hex and I got a $200,000 position in Hex, I guarantee you when you go to hit those bids to get out of Hex, the market makers are going to give you horrible fills. You're not going to be able to get in and get out of Hex with a $200,000 position. Soon as the market makers see you, or Binance or whatever garbage exchange you're trading on, soon as they see you try to sell a big amount like that, they're automatically going to give you a horrible fill. They just are, right? That's just the way that these are illiquid markets. So I like to focus on building a position over time, a big position where I'm putting, and when big relative to me, obviously to the big boys, $50,000, $80,000. That's not big to the big boys, right? That's tiny. I'm saying for me, like I'm building a big position and I'm holding that position over an extended period of time, and then I'm dumping. Sonny Pendu, I'm working on a project right now too. I'm working on some non-fungible tokens around Pokemon cards and trading cards. I'll put my email in here, info. And thank you for reminding me about that, Sonny Pinto. I need to update my about stuff. I've been just so busy with this coding boot camp that I'm working on right now that I just haven't had the time to really like update a lot of things that I need to update. So give me a second. Info at my, what is it? Is it .com or .io? I think it's. Yeah, I think this is it. Let me just check it. Yeah, it's info. Give me 1 second. Let me double check and make sure it's correct. Want to make sure I'm giving you the correct email, Sonny Pindu. I'm working on some non-fungible tokens right now. My phone's about to die too. Wow, look at me. I'm just such a mess. So let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, that's the correct one. There we go. It's the email. Yeah, I'm just I like I said before, guys, I had to the problem with the files is that I didn't know that OBS, they were exporting all of my files as an MKV file. And when I edit the videos, I edit them in Final Cut Pro, so they have to be in the MP4 format. So to find one of those websites that can basically encode the format from an MKV to an MP4, it takes like 3 hours for them to really be able to properly transfer the file. And then when you transfer when you encode the file and you basically transform it into an MP4 file, the audio is distorted. So like a lot of, even the Ethereum course, if you notice the date on the course, it's current. Like I had to redo the entire Ethereum course all over again because the audio didn't come out right. Because when I was converting it from an MKV to an MP4 file. And the same thing happened with a lot of the coding bootcamp content. So I had to redo all of that stuff over, and that's why it was taking me so long. Yeah. No, I figured it out. I was able to go inside of the stream and then change it from exporting as MKV to MP4. I didn't know that at first. I didn't know it. What I was saying is that whenever like your OBS resets sometime, or you put like a new stream key into your OBS, it messes with your settings. So I normally had my settings on MP4. The problem is I didn't know that it was exporting my files to MKV until I actually went and start playing with the damn files. And then that's when I found out like these are all MKV files because I had changed the actual stream key inside of my OBS and it basically messed everything up. But yeah, guys, hit that like button, please. Thank you, Jimmy Buckets. And it's not a Java course, it's JavaScript. We're focusing on Java because we're eventually going to get to Solidity, where we're going to be building we're going to be able to adapt utilizing smart contracts, and smart contracts are coded in Solidity. And other protocols are utilizing Solidity as well. I believe, what's that cryptocurrency I recently came across? I think it's Elrond or Elrand. They utilize Solidity as well as a code base. So Solidity reads a lot like JavaScript. Like when you program it, it literally, the syntax is almost exactly like JavaScript. So we're not doing Java, we're doing JavaScript. So we're going to start with basic HTML because you need HTML to structure a web page. Then we're going to go into the whole JavaScript stuff. And we're really focusing on JavaScript from the standpoint of so we can get to Solidity. Because when you look at dApps, right, dApps have a front end and then they have a back end. The front end is basically like what you see on the web page. That's the HTML and CSS and the JavaScript that makes the website function. And then on the back end, you have the smart contract, which is built out in Solidity. So I want to teach you guys JavaScript from the standpoint of you can understand the syntax so that when we get to start building dApps, with Solidity, you'll understand what we're trying to do. Because I'm going to build an exchange and some basic stuff like that. And then we're going to do like a poker app, poker dApp with utilizing Solidity. So that's what we're going to be doing. Really focusing on that. So. I cover smart contracts inside of the Ethereum course, Styles Washington. I just received your email, Sonny Pindu, and I'll definitely take a look at it. I'll definitely take a look at it. See what else is in here in the chat. No, you're not tripping. You're not tripping, Courtney Gibson. I had all of the content already created for the coding bootcamp. but the audio was distorted in the files when I was converting them from MKV to MP4. So that's why I had to go and redo all of that content all over again. So that's why I had to do it all over. Like I said, the Ethereum course, I literally had to remake the entire Ethereum course all over again because the audio just didn't come out correctly. And then I'm using Wistia, and I have to find a better way to do this, right? Because, and this is probably why I have to buy like a better MacBook Pro or buy like a Mac desktop, because when I make the videos for the Academy, I do a screen record on here on a PC, and then I take the file from the PC, I put it on a hard drive, and then I basically export it into my MacBook. And then after that, I then put it into Final Cut Pro, I edit it, and then I have to upload that edit into Wistia. So it's like every time you move it from one device to the other and you move it to another device, it's like the file somehow, like it gets, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the file, it loses somewhat of the quality. That's the word. Like it loses the quality, the crispness of the crispness of the audio. It loses like the 4K visual. Like the file doesn't look the same as it looks on the PC. So I need to figure out a way either to, I guess, not have to jump through so many steps to be able to export the video, edit the video, and then export the video again. That's why I'm probably going to get like a really powerful Mac desktop, like an iMac Pro, and that way I can just do everything on one machine, right? Because having to go from one machine to the other machine to the other machine, it's like it loses quality, and that's one of the problems that I'm having. The reason why I don't record on my Mac, because this MacBook that I have, it doesn't, like for some reason, the mixer that I have, it doesn't work well and integrate well with OBS. So like I constantly have audio issues when I try to put my mixer and my mic and everything into my MacBook. So I'm probably going to have to do that. Yeah, I was looking at Adobe Premiere, Sunny, but it's like I already have Final Cut Pro, so it's like why do I need to get a whole nother editing software, another piece of software that can edit videos and stuff when I already have software that can do that on my Mac, because I paid $300 for Final Cut Pro. So I'm probably just going to buy like I said, a brand new iMac Pro, and that way I won't have this problem, especially because you have to think about it. Like when you're doing like a coding boot camp, some of these videos can be like 45 minutes. So just think about how long it takes to edit and export a 45-minute video. Like some of these videos can be like 3 gigabytes. Right? Like think about it, like seriously. So sometimes like when it takes me a while for me to put videos in the Academy, like if I say I'm gonna do a video at 6 o'clock, it may take, seriously, to like export a video. Sometimes it may take like 3 or 4 hours to properly export a video, because these files, they're large. So it's not like I'm trying to make you guys wait around or like some suspense. Sometimes it may take me all day to export 2 or 3 videos. No, I know they do the same thing, but number one, I like Final Cut Pro better than Premiere, and I believe that Premiere is monthly. I believe the Adobe Premiere Suite is monthly. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's monthly, and I believe that Final Cut Pro is I know it's a one-time fee of $300. See, but there we go, Sonny, right? That's the problem that I have, right? You just highlighted my problem. My PC is a beast. My PC is top of the line. The problem is I don't edit my videos and stuff on the PC. I edit it on a Mac. And the MacBook that I have, it's like, this MacBook's like probably like 4 years old. And it's not well equipped to deal with a 3 gigabyte or 4 gigabyte video, right? Like it's just not. So that's the problem I have. My PC's a beast. I have the same specs you have. I have a Ryzen 2700. I have I believe like 32 gigs of RAM. I have a beast graphics card, a beast motherboard. But again, I don't edit and export my videos on the PC. If I did it on the PC, I wouldn't have these problems. So the problem is I export them into my MacBook Pro. So my MacBook Pro is just it can't handle these large files. So that's one of the problems I have with a lot of my videos. I'll look that up. D-Day Ethereum Capital. I haven't heard of that. I'll look it up though. I think the best way to do it for file integrity is to record on OBS MKV, then remix to MP4 and edit and save as a WMA. I will definitely look into that. I haven't looked into that yet, but I'll definitely look into that if that can solve my problems. But most likely, I'm gonna end up just buying an iMac Pro. I'm probably spend like $5,000 on a machine. I don't want to purchase another computer because I have so many damn computers. Like seriously, I have too many computers. I have too many computers. If I buy another Mac, I currently have 2 MacBook Pros. I have a Dell XPS. I just purchased that computer like 2 years ago. And then I have my personal computer that I built myself. I have all of the top of the line stuff in here. And it's just like, this would be my 5th computer. Do I really need? And then I have an iPad Pro. It's like, do I really need this much technology? And I don't need this many computers. So I'll definitely look. But like I said, I'll definitely look it up. So, and then Kajabi, because I utilize Kajabi for the academy. They always have problems with their servers. Like when you try to put a big file into Kajabi, I have problems with that as well. So it's just like, starting a business. This is the best advice I will give a lot of you who want to start a business. You are going to encounter so many things that you did not account for. Like as an entrepreneur, like you're going to encounter so much, and embrace it. Like don't get frustrated. Don't get upset. There will be a ton of expenses that you didn't even think that you were going to have to pay for. Embrace it. I've so many different things that I've encountered on this journey, and you just roll with the punches and always budget. Always have more than enough capital for whatever endeavor that you're embarking on. So if you need 25,000 to get in it, have 35 or 40. Like always have more than enough money, because I'm telling you, if you start something with just enough, you're going to run into problems. So, and with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave the video here, and we're coming up on almost 2 hours, so I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to make this too long. So just to wrap this up, the market has been on fire. Gold and silver is in a bull market. Crypto's in a bull market. If you listened to me, you would be up big on your positions right now. You would be making money. And I'm not saying that because I want to take all of the credit. I'm not saying this because I'm some guru and that you should just do everything that I say. I'm just simply saying that when a person's giving you information, you need to take that information and vet it yourself and do your own due diligence. And I give you guys all of the links, all of the resources. I created My Tech Academy. It's dirt cheap to join the academy. There's a free 7-day trial. I've been making videos about this content for well over a year. If you go here, I literally made this post yesterday about Ethereum. It was under $300. Now it's over $300, and it's still going up. When we started the video, it was at $322. It's at $326 right now. Right? And as I said before, I'm going to really start diving heavy into the altcoins, different altcoin projects, because they just have they offer the best bang for your buck, because many of them are under $1 billion. Some of them are under $500 million. But understand, like, this is going to be like kind of like a gamble with some of these projects. So I wouldn't say you should put a lot of money into some of these projects. But these are going to be like some projects that can really do like a 50x. Those are the type of projects that we're going to start to cover. But my mouth is getting dry sitting under these lights. As you can see here, March 12th, this is when Ethereum crashed. I think this is when they had a problem with DAI. And Ethereum crashed to like $90, like $95 on some exchanges. I stepped in. I was going onto every exchange I can go into and just buying as much ETH and Bitcoin that I could possibly buy. And it paid off for me big time. And it's going to keep paying off because the bull market hasn't even started yet. Same thing with gold and silver. Look at it, pumping. Look at this pump. Let's look at a daily chart before we get off here. Back here, where's March 12th at? Right here. Market sold off. I kept telling you guys, buy. Buy. Now we're at 1930. We're at $1,932 with gold. Look at silver. I told you guys back here, buy. Buy. Buy more. Buy. Went from $12. Now we're sitting at $24.20. It's here. So, for those of you who are in my Tech Academy, finish the courses. Learn about this technology. Learn about cryptography, digital signatures, hash algorithms. Learn about this stuff, about different hash functions. Learn about it. Educate yourself about the technology. Learn about the Ethereum virtual machine. Learn about Solidity. Go learn about Tezos. Learn about this tech because it's here to stay. And we're in the infancy of this technology. It's tiny. It's a baby. Get involved. A link to join my Tech Academy is in the description. I'm going to keep shilling it because it's here. If you don't have any money and you're dirt poor, go and do some Google research. Go on YouTube. Find tutorials. Find videos. Get involved in STEM. The fourth industrial revolution is here. The Great Reset is here. There will be a ton of opportunities for those of you who are looking for it. You will find it. Seek and ye shall find. So, have a great and beautiful day. I will see you guys tomorrow because my mouth is dry. These lights are making me really hot. 2 hours is more than enough content. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like this video, share this video, and please subscribe to the channel.